Welcome to This Is Genius. Today, we delve deep into one of the most powerful protest songs ever recorded, Strange Fruit, performed by Billie Holiday. This haunting masterpiece stands as more than just a song. It serves as a mirror reflecting the darkest corners of American history and the enduring struggle against racial injustice that continues to shape our society today. The song's most striking lines, pastoral scene of the gallant South, the bulging eyes and the twisted mouth, create an intentionally jarring contrast that cuts to the very heart of American racial violence. These words tear away the carefully maintained facade of Southern gentility to expose the brutal reality that lay beneath. The imagery transforms instantly from serene to horrific, forcing listeners to confront uncomfortable truths about their society, truths that many would prefer to ignore or deny. Born Eleanora Fagan in Philadelphia in 1915, Billie Holiday's journey to becoming Lady Day was marked by hardship and resilience. Abandoned by both parents, she navigated a childhood scarred by poverty, abuse, and racism. Her mother Sadie worked as a housekeeper, often leaving young Eleanora in the care of relatives who showed little interest in her well-being. By the age of 10, she was working alongside her mother, cleaning houses and running errands for a local brothel. Yet from these harsh beginnings emerged one of the most distinctive and influential voices in American music. Her early musical education came from the streets of Baltimore and the speakeasies of Harlem, where she absorbed the innovations of Louis Armstrong and Bessie Smith while developing her own unique style. Holiday's voice, though limited in range, possessed an emotional depth that few could match. She approached each song as an actor approaches a role, inhabiting the lyrics and bringing them to life through subtle shifts in timing and tone. This ability would prove crucial when she later encountered Strange Fruit. The genesis of Strange Fruit lies in a poem penned by Abel Meeropol, a Jewish schoolteacher from the Bronx who wrote under the pen name Louis Allen. Meeropol was haunted by Lawrence Beidler's photograph of the 1930 lynching of Thomas Shipp and Abram Smith in Marion, Indiana. The image of two black men hanging from a tree while a white crowd gathered below drove him to craft verses that would shake America's conscience. The photograph, which sold thousands of copies in the days following the lynching, captured the casual brutality of American racism. The crowd below the bodies includes children, some smiling at the camera. When Holiday first encountered the poem in 1939, she immediately recognized its power and potential as a weapon against injustice. The decision to perform it came at significant personal risk. Her record label, Columbia, refused to record it, fearing backlash from Southern distributors and radio stations. This forced her to release it through Commodore Records, a smaller label willing to take the risk. Many radio stations banned the song outright, while venues often prohibited her from performing it. Some audiences walked out during performances, unable or unwilling to confront the reality the song portrayed. The song's arrangement itself reflects its subject matter with devastating precision. The sparse instrumental backing creates a sense of desolation, while Holiday's voice carries the weight of generations of suffering. The tempo is deliberately slow, forcing listeners to sit with each word and image. The melody descends chromatically, like the bodies Holiday describes falling from the trees. The piano introduction sets a somber tone, its minor chords creating an atmosphere of impending doom. The bass line moves slowly, like a funeral march, while occasional dissonant notes in the harmony suggest the twisted nature of the scene being described. The metaphor of fruit hanging from trees is particularly powerful because it perverts something natural and life-giving into an image of death. Southern trees should bear sweet fruit, peaches, apples, or pears. Instead, they bear the bitter fruit of racism and murder. The song forces listeners to confront this perversion of nature, this transformation of the pastoral into the grotesque. The imagery becomes more powerful when considering the traditional use of trees as symbols of life and growth in literature and poetry. Holiday's delivery of Strange Fruit evolved throughout her career, reflecting both her growing mastery as an artist and the toll that racism and persecution took on her personally. In early recordings, there's a rawness to her performance, a barely contained rage that bubbles beneath the surface of each word. Later versions show a deeper weariness, as if the weight of the song's truth had settled more heavily upon her. Each interpretation brought new layers of meaning to the lyrics, demonstrating Holiday's genius for emotional expression. The impact of Strange Fruit extended far beyond the music world, helping to galvanize support for anti-lynching legislation and serving as an early anthem for the civil rights movement. The song demonstrated the power of art to drive social change by making the abstract concrete and personal. Its influence continues to resonate through modern protest music, from Nina Simone to Public Enemy to Kanye West's Blood on the Leaves, which samples Simone's version of the song. The technical aspects of the song deserve particular attention. The harmonic progression deviates from standard jazz conventions, creating a sense of unease that mirrors the subject matter. The opening instrumental passage, with its chromatic descent, prepares listeners for the gravity of what follows. Holiday's phrasing, with its strategic delays and emphases, draws maximum impact from each word. The song's structure, moving from the pastoral to the grotesque and back to a quiet, haunting conclusion, mirrors the way violence erupts into and disrupts seemingly peaceful scenes. Holiday's personal connection to the song's message ran deep. She experienced racism firsthand throughout her career, from being forced to use service elevators in hotels where she performed to being arrested for drug possession while white performers with similar habits went unchallenged. During tours in the South, she often had to sleep in her car when hotels refused her accommodation. Strange Fruit became not just a protest against lynching but an expression of her own experiences with American racism. The song's legacy extends into contemporary discussions of racial justice. When protesters march against police brutality or systemic racism, they walk in the footsteps of Holiday and others who dared to speak truth to power. The song reminds us that art can serve as both witness and weapon in the fight for justice. Its continued relevance speaks to both its artistic power and the persistent nature of racial inequality in American society. Modern scholars have noted how Strange Fruit prefigured many elements of later protest music. Its use of metaphor to discuss political issues, its unflinching confrontation of social problems, and its combination of aesthetic beauty with moral urgency established a template that countless artists would follow. The song's influence can be heard in works ranging from Bob Dylan's The Death of Emmett Till to Childish Gambino's This Is America. Each new performance of Strange Fruit adds layers of meaning, connecting the specific horror of lynching to broader patterns of racial violence and injustice. Nina Simone's version, recorded in 1965, connected the song to the civil rights struggles of that era. Jeff Buckley's 1995 interpretation brought it to a new generation of listeners. Each version maintains the song's core power while adding new dimensions of meaning. The song has been featured in numerous films, documentaries, and television shows, each use adding to its cultural significance. It appears in documentaries about the civil rights movement, films about Holiday's life, and programs about the history of protest music. Each appearance serves to educate new audiences about both the song's specific message and the broader historical context it addresses. The contemporary relevance of Strange Fruit remains undimmed. In an era when racial justice continues to be a pressing concern, Holiday's fearless confrontation of American racism provides both inspiration and instruction. The song demonstrates how art can transcend entertainment to become a force for social change, challenging audiences to confront uncomfortable truths and take action against injustice. Thanks for listening to This Is Genius. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to check out another one of our shows, Interesting People, where we explore the fascinating lives and contributions of remarkable individuals throughout history.